convert characters and numbers to strings. Like I just said, we can use string.valueOf and pass the double itself. It's going to convert into string or integers and so on. Now let's look at what is StringBuilder and StringBuffer. StringBuffer class is an alternate to the string class. So in general, a StringBuilder or StringBuffer can be used wherever a string is used. StringBuilder or StringBuffer is more flexible than string class. You can add, insert, or append new contents into a string buffer, whereas the value of a string object is fixed once the string is created. StringBuilder constructor. So we have the constructor default. We have the one with specify the capacity, and you can just pass the string itself. And we also have the operations like append. You can append an array of characters into the string. You can append by specify offset and length. You can append a primitive type value as a string to this builder. That means any primitive type, right? Numbers like int, double, you can do that. You can append the string itself from string class to a string builder. You can delete from the specified index to the end index. You can delete a character at the specified index. You can insert, right, at the specified index with a stream of characters or array of characters. You can also, this one using offset, this one no offset with the length. So when you use offset, that means you insert that into the builder at the offset position. You can insert with any type at the offset, right, position. And insert a string itself type into the string builder at the offset position. Offset. So replace, you can replace the at the index specified to end index with a string that you want to replace. You can do reverse characters in the builder. You can do set char at, like specify index replaced with the characters, which you see that in string class we cannot do this. A lot of this we cannot do. We cannot reverse in string class. You cannot reverse the text. But when you use string builder, you can do that very fast. Just do dot reverse. So this is an example. So we append the Java word. We insert at the offset specified it. We delete at this specify index start and end. So once we delete, then the word can be changed. We can revert, like for example, welcome is going to say welcome to, right? Reverse text Java. We can replace the word Java with HTML as a specified index and end. We can do set char at, where W is replaced with lowercase at offset specified at index 0. Now, string builder also have two string. You can convert the whole string builder into string class. So what's capacity here? You see this on your test. The capacity of the string builder is not the size, it's not the length. We have the length. Okay, it's different. So it's pretty much just return the actual contents that it can store, like the size or the capacity in the term of integers. Like let's look at the code here when we instantiate the string builder object, and just do string builder capacity. So let's see, we get 16 by default. Capacity is 16. Now, if I start to, let's say we're gonna append something into string builder. A letter A maybe. I want to see the capacity. Right, it's still 16. And the reason why it's still 16 because A size is not larger than 16. So let's say if I do B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M. So how many letters so far? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M. 13, right? 13. And this is going to be appending to the string. Still 16 because 13, right? NOP. So it's still 16 because there's 16 letters, and capacity can contain 16, so that's why the size still 16. Q. There you go. So it's double the capacity. Once I make it to 17, so we may see that when it starts to get larger than 16, the capacity of string builder is going to be increased. So this is 34 letters. Let's say if we get reached to 35, so the capacity is going to increase 35 by 1. J, K, 36, 37. See, so once it's reached into the limit, it's just increasing by 1. So first time it's just make it up to 34, right? 16, 34, and then increasing by 1. So this is mean the capacity that you can contain, right? The number of characters into the string builder. It doesn't mean size in the beginning, right? But when it reached this, it start to be the same as the length. But you have to see the capacity is not the length, right? Because string builders also have dot length. So let's see what we get from dot length. So these are the operation of string builders. See, it's pretty much reaching the same. But capacity is not the same in the beginning. Because if you look at this, it's just like a dynamic array. Where array of characters is a string. You have to keep the initial size first when you create. And if you really think about the logic why it's put like that, because normally first time when you use string like to define name or something, the letters should not be greater than 16. So we just define a cap to 16. And if you happen to hit like maybe some last name is long, it could reach to 34, right? We just make max like that. Why we want to do that? Because in terms of memories, we don't want to occupy too much spaces to keep doubling the size 34 to 68. It could wasting the memories at that point. And in terms of speed, you don't want to keep initialize an array every time, because when you do 34, 35, 36, 37, you pretty much initialize an array every time to get a bigger size. That's going to cost more time. You just initialize once and make it space to store data. So that's why it's designed that way. Alright, so we also have char at length. Char at pretty much return a char at the index. Length, we've seen it. Set length. You can set new length in this builder. You can do substring, get the substring from the starting index. Let's test StringBuilder.set length 100. Now let's see what happened if we set length to 100. After it was 37. Now the capacity and the length, they all like pretty much I want more spaces into my string. So that's why it's put the empty spaces after 37. Right, so now if I append more, it should not affect the size, because I pretty much I set the size to be bigger, right? Like append LMN. So once I append, the capacity and length should still stay at 100. It looks like it's append to the end of the spaces. Right, it add the gaps and then append 3 more. So that's why the length increasing to 103. And then capacity is also increased. When it reach 100, it's like 2 increase, almost double. And plus 2, it's always do plus 2, like 16 to 30. 2 plus 2, 38, right? Something like plus. So it's always like when do capacity, it seems like set the logic to when it reaches 100, it's going to double the capacity and plus 2. Just like in the beginning, we do 16, double the capacity, 32 plus 2, right? 34. But the length is the actual size cell is still 103, because set length happened to add spaces into the data set. So have like trim to size. Substring is very simple. We're not going to test that. Let's look at trim to size. So we're going to trim to size. It's going to reduce the storage sizes used for the string builder. So when we have 202, you see that this happened to double the size capacity, right? Now when I do trim to size, it's actually reduced to whatever the actual size is, 103. So we reduce the capacity into 103 when we do trim to size. Right. So in other words, let's see if we just use this right away when we start the application. So it was 16, right? So let's say I'm going to do trim to size. So it's reduced to 0 because the content is nothing. If I add append 1, then it's going to trim to 1, right? So that's the point of trim to size.